Washington Commanders finished 12-5 this past season, finishing second place in the NFC East Division. So the Commanders surprised a lot of people this past season, including myself, by not only coming close to winning their division, but giving themselves a chance to compete in a Super Bowl, advancing to the NFC Championship game before they eventually got knocked out by the Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. But the big surprise was Jayden Daniels, their rookie quarterback that they drafted out of LSU, who won the Rookie of the Year award. He was phenomenal. Right now, it's probably safe to say that he is the guy going forward for the Washington Commanders. Me personally, I'm still hesitant to call him the guy at quarterback because he just got done with his rookie season. He may go into next season and have a CJ Stroud-like season where CJ was in a bit of a slump and he wasn't as phenomenal as he was his rookie season. Now, I think CJ will be fine. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. But in Jayden Daniels' case, he may have a worse season. He may have a worse second year than CJ Stroud did. He may end up being a one-hit wonder, have a good season, and then just completely fall off, God forbid. So all I'm saying is that for me personally, I'm holding off on calling him the guy, but he did look phenomenal this past season. And if there's any Jayden Daniels fanboy that comes across this video and gets upset with me for saying this, oh well, fucking get over it. So I wanted to come on here and give my opinion on what I think the Washington Commanders needs to do this offseason to increase their chances of putting themselves in a better position to win a Super Bowl in the near future. And I wanted to talk about their defense. They had games where they gave up 20 plus points, 30 plus points, even in games that they won. First off, they gotta find some DBs. They gotta find some cornerbacks. Too many times they got burned by some of the best wide receivers, especially the elite wide receivers. Guys getting inside leverage on them so easily, running in breaking routes. They would get beat on 50-50 balls by some of the elite wide receivers. In the Bengals game, in that Monday night shootout, Jamar Chase, I believe he torched them twice on a go route. Mike Evans, he got the best of a Washington secondary twice. He beat Benjamin St. Juste on a little go route against Tampa the first time that they played. Then when Marshawn Lattimore got traded to Washington, he didn't really do too well either. In that playoff game, in that wildcard playoff game against Tampa, Mike Evans does a curl route and Marshawn Lattimore, he gets beat pretty bad. Mike Evans stops, but Marshawn is still running 5 yards after he stops, trying to regain his balance and trying to be able to make a play. Then in the NFC Championship game, Philadelphia went for it on 4th and 5. Again, getting beat on a go route against A.J. Brown for Philly to convert a first down. So they have to strengthen that secondary. They got to find some cornerbacks who can play man that won't give up big plays. Now, in fairness to Washington, it's really hard to play defense nowadays on wide receivers because of the rules. You can't really touch these guys. So it's pretty hard to play one-on-one man coverage. So they are definitely going to have to strengthen their secondary, especially since they run a lot of nickel. They run a lot of nickel coverage. They constantly have 5 DBs on the field. And when you're in the same division with the Philadelphia Eagles, with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, that's going to have to be a top priority, in my opinion. Well, really like the defense as a whole, but just sticking with the secondary specifically, that's going to be a top priority. And they are in a conference to where they're going to have to probably see a Justin Jefferson, a Mike Evans, a Drake London. Even Atlanta got the better of them. Kyle Pitts, who has been a disappointment in Atlanta, he had a game-time touchdown against them towards the end of the season. Who else? Detroit. So they have to, I know I sound like a broken record, but they have to really beef up that secondary. And if they can find some safeties, cool, but they definitely need to find some cornerback. I've never really been too high on Benjamin St. Juste. I think he gets beat too often, in my opinion. Marshawn Lattimore, when he was in New Orleans, I thought he was a good corner. Yes, he would get beat. Yes, he would get in trouble, get penalties called on him. But I gave him credit for when his team needed to make a play and their backs were up against the wall, he would show up and make that play. In the draft, they have to find the best corner possible. I don't really follow college football. I don't really watch it too much. but I Googled top cornerback draft prospects coming into the 2025 draft, and Travis Hunter came up. I think he's the famous hybrid player who can play wide receiver and DB, though if he's in the NFL, he's going to have to play one side of the ball for the most part. This guy named Will Johnson out of Michigan came up. Benjamin Morrison out of Notre Dame. Jade Barron out of Texas. Trey Amos out of Mississippi. So if there's anyone who follows the game of college football, please tell me what DB you think could benefit the Commanders. And as far as the defensive line goes, Myles Garrett, right? If Washington is serious, they go after Myles Garrett. And if I'm the GM or owner, whoever goes out and finds players and signs them to contracts, I would pitch my sale to Myles like, okay, listen, we were one game away from playing in the Super Bowl, led by a rookie quarterback. You are going to be a part of a team that can score points. We are very confident that we have found our guy at quarterback in Jayden Daniels, who will help lead us to the promised land. You were a part of a Cleveland Browns team or teams that was inept on offense. If you come to Washington, you will be rewarded for when you make a stop on defense. The offense will come out onto the field and put up points. The division as a whole, the New York Giants could still be the Giants and win 2 games next season. Hell, they could win 3 or 4. The Cowboys, they may come back and win 12 or 13 games, but they are the Cowboys. They choke in the playoffs. Dak Prescott is not the guy. So it's just us and Philly. That's really all there is to it. So I would pitch it something like that. They need a bona fide pass rusher too. Dante Fowler, he had 10.5 sacks, but he's not really a guy that you can count on to give you 10 sacks a season. They have Frankie Louvu, who in my opinion was their best defensive player this past season. He's a hybrid player. He can play linebacker and they'll put him at the edge at times. So if you have Myles Garrett and then at times you can put Frankie Louvu at the line of scrimmage, and if teams dare to try and double team Myles, they have to worry about Frankie coming off the other side. They have to find some defensive linemen or some defensive tackles who are good at stopping the run, because that's Philadelphia's style. Be aggressive, run the ball, beat you up at the line of scrimmage. If they can, maybe find some offensive linemen in the draft as well. It's all about Philly. That's what it comes down to. Philly show that they are the best team in the NFL by dominating the Chiefs all around. So that's what I think Washington should do. If there's anyone that comes across this video, please tell me what you think they should do. Please like and subscribe. That is it. I am out.